Civil disobedience throughout the course of history has been used to either invoke change in what by those who participated in it considered to be a broken system, or to make a bold statement that will get the attention of a large mass of people. Civil disobedience is always used as a catalyst to make a bold statement. Civil disobedience is often done to expose something that is immoral or unjust. Civil disobedience is practiced by several people who have the same community interest, according to Hannah Arendt. In other words, civil disobedience, those who participate in it all have a common view and want to invoke change in that common view. Civil disobedience opposes established authority, according to John Rawls. In other words, what that means is civil disobedience challenges what is considered to be the status quo. It addresses and attempts to expose the brokenness in what is already an established system. It challenges the system to act in morality. Civil disobedience is an organized activity. Those that engage in civil disobedience aren't necessarily disobedient by nature, but they are bound by a common belief. Today, I'm going to give 3 examples of civil disobedience. First, I'm going to talk about the Montgomery bus boycott. Secondly, I'm going to talk about the 2017 graduates of Bethune-Cookman University. Thirdly, I'm going to talk about Colin Kaepernick's decision to kneel for the national anthem. The goal of the Montgomery bus boycott was to allow all riders who paid their fare to sit wherever they choose to. The black community of Montgomery lacked the right to vote as well as political representation, so they knew the only way to invoke change is to be the cause of change themselves, according to Stephen Burns. The movement was largely sparked by Rosa Parks' decision to remain seated in the white section of the bus. She claimed she was tired and did not want to move. She had no idea she was going to start a whole movement. The strategy was not to use any public transportation at all that practiced segregation. After 381 long days of boycotting the school system, the Montgomery Federal Court ruled that segregation on the bus line violates the 14th Amendment. Next, I'm going to talk about the 2017 graduates of Bethune-Cookman University. The graduates disagreed with the decision to have Betsy DeVoe as their commencement speaker. Dr. Edison Jackson stated that it would benefit the students of Bethune-Cookman University to hear a point of view from someone whose beliefs may differ from their own. The students argued that because she couldn't understand what it's like to be a student at a historically black college, she would not be a good fit for their commencement ceremony. Despite their protests from the student and community organization, Dr. Jackson's decision was not wavered when DeVoe spoke. The student practiced civil disobedience by either standing up and turning their backs on her while speaking, or audibly booing during her speech, making a statement that her presence was not welcome. Earlier, I stated that civil disobedience is an organized event amongst people. Well, there's always an exception to the rule. The exception to that rule is Colin Kaepernick, a star that used his celebrity status to make a bold statement and practice civil disobedience. Colin Kaepernick used his celebrity status to make a stance as part of the Black Lives Matter movement. During the Star Spangled Banner, Colin Kaepernick, instead of standing with his head held over his heart during the national anthem, would take a knee. From a technical standpoint, he isn't breaking any legal laws, but by kneeling during the national anthem, he is breaking American tradition, thus opposing an unwritten established authority. His actions help bring more attention to the Black Lives Matter movement and open the door to conversation about police brutality, systematic racism, and white privilege. His stance has not come without some consequence, as he is currently being unofficially blackballed by the National Football League. In conclusion, civil disobedience, when done correctly, is an organized stand which challenges the morality of the laws of our land. Civil disobedience proved that when united, even if immediate change isn't instituted, it guarantees that the voices of the people are heard. However, the key word is civil. If it isn't peaceful, it is simply disobedience.